Is it some bird I ride on my core? This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I'm here to do a reading. I have been inspired because Jacob Elordi has just recently been spotted with Kendall Jenner, and they have been rumored, excuse me, Jacob has been rumored to be seen with Kendall Jenner, and over the last few weeks, and finally there has been a really nice teasing picture of them in a car and allegedly on a double date. So the Jenner sisters, Kylie and Kendall, were on a double date plus another friend who was not on a double date. But you know what? That's okay. What we are going to talk about here, however, I did a reading on Kendall Jenner and how she feels about her relationship with Jacob Elordi. And do go check that out. It was an interesting reading. I said I was going to do a promotion about it and tell you guys to go check that out as well. So with that being said, before now that I've talked about all that, let's really hop into what I have to do before I get into the tarot reading. So one thing that I learned is that Jacob's career is on the change or evolving or some sort of evolution. Now, I first seen him. Now, this is the order that I had saw him in. I saw him in Euphoria first, and then I saw him in the kissing booth. But apparently, it was the kissing booth, and was it in that order? It was the kissing booth, and then Euphoria that got him where he was appraised. And you know what? He was really in those, like, if you ever seen the kissing booth, it's really like a bat. Can we say bat? It was a teen rom-com movie basically. And you know what? Going right there in Euphoria about going with the teens and the drama and stuff like that and comedy, I could see they had a specific role or type for Jacob. And now recently over the years, he has evolved out of that into Saltburn, into Worthington Heights and things like that. So we're seeing a new different side of him. And I'm really appreciating that he's evolving as an actor and that he has much more to show us and much more to bring us than that Euphoria energy, if you guys are familiar and understand. So with that being said, let's just pull some cards to see how is Jacob's career at this present moment. And honestly, if you guys are not familiar with Jacob Elordi, I'm not going to do him any injustice at this point. Let's just... Jacob... His face might look familiar, but I'll give you some movies he's been in. Frankenstein, 2025. Priscilla, 2023. The Narrow Road and the Deep North. Never seen that. That was in 2025. All the other ones I have seen except for Frankenstein. And I do want to see Worthington Heights. He was in Deep Waters, 2022. Two Hearts, 2020. Yeah, those are some more recent ones. Oh, He Went That Way, 2023, just to name a few, but you know, those weren't at the very tippy tops. But those ones that I named, you know, if you haven't heard them being talked about in the rumor mills, then those are some movies that have just recently came out in the last 5 years, really in the last, I'll say, good 3 years. And that just shows you how he's been in some really good, strong, good claiming movies. I want to know, has he won any awards? Now I'm curious. I rest my case. I did the research according to Google if this is right, but we know IMBD never lies. Jacob Elordi has won 17 major awards and received 64 nominations. I'll say so because of that. That shows you how much he has been in the industry, how he's making a name for himself out there. I'll say it again, and I'm not trying to compare the two sisters' boyfriends together, but if you ask me, Jacob can make the Hollywood it boy. He's like another Zac Efron, if you ask me, and not Timothy Chalamet. So I think they need to look in a different direction. But anyway, that's my opinion aside. But let's just see, how is Jacob and his career doing? We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Sun. The Five of Swords. Oh, the Six of Cups. And the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. And then I want to know, how does Jacob feel about his own career? Actually, you know what? How does the industry feel about Jacob? That's a good one. What's surrounding him in the industry? Ooh, how do they feel about him? We see the scythe. We see a letter. All interesting. I'm just thinking if I want to pull another card because I just have a quick question that I just have to know right off the bat. And I'm trying to figure out what cards do I want to pick to find out that answer. All right, what does the bottom say? Emperor. This bottom also says the snake. You know, guys, I'm really curious. I'm really curious. Everything I do say is allegedly. Has Jacob signed some sort of contract with the elites? Hint, hint, wink, wink. If you know what I mean, you know, like the Illuminati, like. Has he? Because it's interesting that when I ask how does the industry feel about him, everything ties back to the contract and exactly how he feels. We got the ring, we got the letter, we have a false person, and that false person is doubled down with the snake. And then when I pulled the bottom of the card to see, you know, if I wanted to, I pulled the bottom of the decks to see to answer that exact question. Has he basically sold his soul? And and what did I get? The Emperor, the industry, the snake, the industry, but also the false person. So it's just like, you know what? I have to say it. That's what I saw. But all that aside, let's just see how the reading goes from here. So the first card that pops out for Jacob when it comes to how he's feeling about his careers is that it's contracts after contracts. There is so many opportunities that are coming towards him and that are it's like the doors are opening up for him in a sense. And he almost feels overwhelmed with the opportunities that are coming towards him because it's trying to figure out what kind of type of contract he wants to sign to. And then sometimes is like giving up other contracts for letting go, taking one contract over another contract because, you know, maybe they have conflicting schedules, or maybe it's just like, if you do this and do that, you might exhaust yourself. So it's like trying to like fit a puzzle piece together. It's like sitting down, working, drawing, I don't want to say scheming, but scheming in the sense of trying to figure out how to make this all work out for yourself. And that's what I see with Jacob at this point. Now, what do we see here in the past is the Five of Swords, which weirdly symbolizes a sort of friction. And that makes me wonder, what kind of friction did he have with his career? Was it the roles and opportunities that he was first maybe pigeonholed into, that he felt like maybe that was like the step up the leg that he needed to get him into the space and sphere to get eyes more noticed on him? And now that the eyes have noticed him and we're able to see his potential, see beyond the roles he were in, they are now starting to have like the floodgates. But what do I see here at the very bottom is the Sun card at the foundation, which he really is happy at this time with his career. Wherever it is, wherever it's going, he's really happy, he's really joyous. But the Sun can be an overexposure as well when we think of overwhelmingness, and the Sun can also really truly be more self-centered, more self-absorbed, more into self, more into his career, more into what's going to make me the star, what's going to make me shine, what is going to elevate me. It's always that that's like where his foundation's at. So that's about his drive, and his passion has always been from, how can I get from here to my goal? And that's still how he feels today. And that's exactly how he feels whenever he's signing contracts, is which one is going to benefit me the most. So, and there's nothing wrong with that, but he also knows what he wants, and he's going out there and getting it. He has a drive, a hunger, a passion, and he's going to get it with some speed. And you know what? My mom has been saying this all week, and it's just popped up in my head. I guess it's been waiting for this exact moment. But he is feeling like Red Bull gives you wings. That he is just on speed. That his career is like, what is going to get me going? What is going to get me to the top like I needed to get me to? So because of that, he's looking for that energizer that's going to get him, that's going to bring him to the rise, that's going to outshine maybe his other past works, and they're going to see like a breakthrough star even. Because what card do we see here is the Six of Cups, which is all about nostalgia. And it could be, honestly, weirdly enough, this could be the fact that he could be having a full circle moment, that now that he has elevated and gotten to a certain point within the stratosphere of the acting industry, it's levels and tiers to this. If they have lists, if you're A, B, C, D, E, F, G list star, let's see, I'm just curious. He's A-list. So because of that, he is at the very tippy top of his career. And when you're at the very tippy top and you're trying to get even higher and attain even more, and to get to your your dream goals that you salivate for, that you've been tasting for, there's some things that you gotta do. So when you finally get to that full circle moment, you gotta reassess, readjust what it is you truly want. Do you really want to go forward with this? Is this the best way I can say, is this what your inner child would really want? Some people are willing to set aside the inner child and set aside the morals and go and get what they want, because that's what they're just like hungry for the money and fame and fortune. But then there's just some people that are truly in acting for the love of acting and the art. So regardless of how high or wherever tier they are content. And I'm wondering if he questions his contentment at this moment. Even though I said it's the Sun, I still feel like a burning, blazing passion within him that has still yet to be satisfied. So it's like a hunger of how much does he need till he's satisfied. And then we see here moving forward is the Queen of Pentacles when it comes to his career. And that symbolizes, weirdly enough, because he's, I'm just going to say, a male. The Queen of Pentacles came out, and it makes me wonder when it comes to his money and when it comes to his finances, his fortune, his status. He nurtures it. He really does. That's the best way I can put it. He like works so the work that he puts into his career, like I say, I almost make it sound like animalistic of saying he's got this hunger, this drive, this passion that's just gonna like devour. It's like I got all these aggressive words, but I'm just like, no, he's truly in the career for the love of it. He really nurtures his career, and he really puts the time, energy, and effort he needs to do to be the type of actor he wants to be and is attaining to be. So it's not like it's doing this all out of like masculine energy. It's doing it out of feminine energy, but as a man, as a masculine, it's going to come out masculine, even though it comes from a feminine stance, if you understand what I mean. So because of that, I don't mean that in any sense of his sexuality, but just in the sense of how much he nurtures, and really the way you tend to something really shows your inner nature rather than how you express it. You can express something really aggressively and be like a little lamb and like not kill anything. So because of those, it's like two different types of contrast. So because of that, that's like that's the contrast that I'm getting with Jacob. Now, to see how the industry feels about him, we have the scythe. And at first I thought, and I still don't think that this could not mean that they're ready to cut him off. Now, actually, now that I say it out loud, I think it could mean that. Because like I said, he's A-list, he's at the very tippy top. It's contracts. And if he's really signing to the Illuminati, then he would really have to, it would be like that time where they like cut him off and it's like time to let him fly on his own. You can fly the coop now. Go forge your own path, basically. But honestly, they see something valuable within Jacob. They really want to harvest something out of him. They see that he's worthy, that they can get whatever the industry has envisioned for Jacob. They already got it locked down. They're just like, you know what? We can make it, break it, happen, whatever. We got this kid. And that's the type of energy. They're just like, we can, with what we got right now, we can definitely harvest this and make it work for us. And that's why they're sitting here, sitting out letters, sitting out contracts, sitting out deals saying, hey, if you do this, that, and a third, you could be X, Y, Z, and this, that, and a third. So like I said, he's got all these opportunities, contracts that he can sign. But it's like, what does he sign his name to is the question that he's really taking some time feminine energy, being receptive, taking it slow, really thinking it through before early acting. Even though you got this strong, aggressive energy, before you get there, you sit and think before you act. So because of that, that's what I'm getting here. He's like, and maybe that's what they're hoping, that if they just keep throwing the contracts at him, they're just, one of them is going to stick, one of them is going to sell, and he's going to fall for it. And he's really taking these things with like a fine-tooth comb because they are committed. They see the dream. They're just like, Jacob, just sign your name. They're just like, just give us your commitment. Just give us your undying commitment. Just marry us. Just give over your career to us, and we got you. We'll take you. Until death do us part, literally. So because of that, you see how enticing it is, how beautiful it is, but we got the false person. The false person is something you can't trust. You can't trust the industry. And that's exactly how he feels when it comes to the industry. He knows there's something, he knows the industry isn't all cracked up as it's supposed to be. He's already had his experiences. He already knew what he had to do to just get to where he is now. And he knows to get even higher, God knows what he's going to have to do. And he's, like I say, going through a fine-tooth comb. Is he willing to strip his morals, his inner child, what he grew up and was raised on, to finally move forward? And you know what? I honestly gotta say, everything I say is allegedly, but I gotta say, once you get caught up with the Jenner family, the Kardashians and the Jenners, A, you're already up there. B, you got yourself entangled in something way bigger than yourself, because that means either they're the gatekeepers and this is the initiation to get in, or he's using Kendall as a magnifying glass to get some attention on him and use her as a stepping stone to get to where he wants to go. Who knows where all these things are going? You really got to start thinking about when it comes to this industry, because you really got to start wondering. It's like, out of all the times, out of all the years, of all points in his career, why is it all of a sudden he's with the Carjenners? I'm just saying, we all know the past and history that comes with the Carjenners. Jacob better be very careful if he wants to end up being successful. And that goes for you too, Timothy. But y'all better be very careful with your acting careers if you want it to be very successful messing with these Carjenners. But anyway, he's still taking his career very serious. And it's like, even if he's in a relationship, it's not like it's going to be something he's going to allow to get him. Or maybe that's something that they use. Maybe the Kardashians. You know what? This is just a side theory that just popped up in my head. What if the Kardashians are like the snakes, the testers of the industry? It's like, just when you're about to get up there, just when you're about to hit the pinnacle of your career, or you're already at the pinnacle of your career, or it's like you have more potential and you could be even better, but you're like already there. And it's just like, if you just get that one more step, it's like somehow the Kardashians slither their way into your lives. And then it's like, you got to fight for your career. I'm just saying, that's the theory that I'm wondering, because I'm just like, all this hard work that he's done, I would be very leery of the Carjenners. But steps aside, and the false persons. But no, for real, what I see here is the false person, and I see the snake, and I see the emperor, which symbolizes the emperor, and the snake goes towards the question of, has he sold himself to the industry? And the question is, with the emperor being in the industry, the industry or the kingdom, the king is the ultimate leader of the kingdom or industry. So because of that, I'm not sure if he's trying to make his way up there and work his way up the ranks to meet those people. Maybe that's something he has an inner curiosity for, and he knew that if he used acting, he could get up there to see. Who knows? But it definitely symbolizes that the snake symbol, like they say, you can't play in the mines and not get spotted. So he really does have to, with this drive and hunger, he really has to be careful. And who knows, maybe he could be like the secret mole of the industry, and maybe he will expose the secrets. I don't know. That was just another conspiracy that came up at the very end that I was just like, nah, that can't be, but I'll just put that one out there since this is conspiracies. But definitely what I see for the cards and aren't conspiracies is that Jacob definitely has a huge thirst and a huge drive to be a mega superstar actor. And there are opportunities coming towards him and doors opening. And he's really thinking about what to take as moving forward. So that way it will only benefit his career and not stagnate his career, not make him a controversial figure. So because of that, it's like he wants things that are only going to highlight his good assets. So because of that, he has to have a strong inner knowing of himself and what's good for him and what he as an actor is good at, and only take those opportunities. But then if you keep doing that, you're going to keep pigeonholing yourself. So as an actor, you have to be willing to try and to get outside of the box and outside of yourself. And when you do that, then you got to be really careful about what you sign yourself onto, because you don't know what Pandora's box you could be opening. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I sure did. It was very juicy about Jacob Elordi's career. I did not expect that, but the articles are definitely true. His career has evolved over the years, and it is at a turning point for sure. With that being said, and he knows it, and he's being very delicate because he knows his future literally depends on the next few contracts he signs on. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I sure did. Please leave your comments down below. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It will really mean a lot to the channel. And subscribe. Hey, like I said, I did a reading on Kendall Jenner and how she feels about her relationship with Jacob. And with that being said, please subscribe and become a sunflower and spread those beautiful sunflower seeds. Weirdly enough, the sun card also came out for Kendall Jenner as well, about how Jacob makes her feel. So weird that was and that was in a completely different deck. It wasn't even this card. It came out in these cards. So with that being said, it seems weird that they like mirrored each other, and I just did their reading back to back. But anyway, check that out if you like. They both have some really complex readings, and maybe that's what draws them together. Anyway, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. If you're curious about their relationship, go check out Kendall Jenner's reading. Subscribe, leave your comments down below, give this video a thumbs up. And you know what I say before I go? Hype us up, subscribe to us, and don't forget to thumb us up. Hey, and I'll see you sunflowers in the next one. Sunflowers.